And here we are on tip 86 with the lovely Richard Long, who I'm not letting escape. I've got lots of questions for him. Okay, so were you ever an actor? Have you ever done any acting? And if so, what was that like?
I have.
Yes?
Yeah, I have. When I was very young, I was in... I was in...
Bill and Ben?
Oh, no. I was in a very interesting thing about a cat. I do remember performing, and it was like a child's version of Cats. We all had to dress up as cats.
How old were you?
Oh, probably about 10, I suppose. I was awful.
Were you?
Yeah, I had half a dozen lines, and I think I got to the end and thought I probably didn't say any of it. What was written.
So what age were you when you decided to become a director or a cameraman director?
Probably. Well, the issue for me was that my father was an avid cameraman, and he had worked for a number of very well-established and well-known 1950s and 1960s film companies in London.
What was his name?
Barry.
Barry S. Long or Barry Long?
Barry L. Long, yeah. Barry Leon Long, yeah.
Small industry here, everybody knows everybody, don't they?
So anyway, he had worked for J. Arthur Rank, and he had even been in films as an extra and played, and I think he even at one point did play a character with a few lines of dialogue. I mean, kind of like you do on Shorten Street. He bought a camera when we became a family, obviously, and he would always have this camera rolling film every weekend, and so I grew up with a camera in my face. And
you associate it with fun, do you? With fun?
Yeah, I do. I always think, well, the whole film industry is very taut in this day and age because of obviously the pressures of success and money, but if you look at it from the right side of the industry, the film industry should be full of fun, and it should be enjoyable and an experience for everyone.
Absolutely.
From the third AD right through to the lead, from the gaffers, the grips, and everybody that never appears, that all do all that amazing work in the background. It always should be fun. It always should work at that level.
I remember thinking to myself once, and this is just nowhere near as experienced as you are, but directing just a screen drama scene, say in level 2 or something, and I remember about 3 hours went by and it felt like 10 minutes, and I remember thinking to myself, this is my happy place. I'm actually really happy doing this.
That's how it should be. I mean, ultimately, I always think actors tend to get very hung up on the dialogue, and they tend to, to ruminate too long on what they have to say and how they have to say it. To some degree, how they have to say it is within their internal mechanism of delivery. Exactly. But they shouldn't really get hung up on the dialogue. I mean, the whole thing about, your presence to the camera is where it's at. And that just comes from, being naturally relaxed and calm and understanding what you're doing. Yeah. And that leads into, understanding the script and the other actors and who you're playing opposite and so on. And having that awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really the important thing. The message I like to get over is always know and be comfortable and have really good set etiquette and understand what you're doing.
Okay, so set etiquette is going to be our next tip. Because also, I don't know if you remember, I asked you once, can you write down everybody on the set and what they do so that I make sure I've got it right? So that's, as an actor, to know all the technical things, what the grip does, what the lighting cameraman's responsibility is. Sounds obvious, but there's all sorts of things that I remember you told me that I thought, I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree though, I mean, actors don't need to know specifically everybody's job. They just need to understand that they're part of an extended team, and it's fine to kind of have a knowledge of all the extra players that are in the cast in terms of the technical cast, but the realities are that you don't really need to know to any depth. I mean, when you have a block sink, you don't need to know how the plumber's going to unblock it.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's very useful to know. Okay, thank you so much, Richard. There's more questions to come. Thank you. And we're very much looking forward to you joining us in our next tip. Thank you.